Stephanie White didn't just speak up, she erupted. After one of the most controversial finishes in recent WNBA history, the Indiana Fever head coach stormed into the press room and let the league have it.
I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim.
No holding back, no coach speak, just raw, blistering truth. And it all centered around one name, Caitlin Clark, and one word, robbed. Because what happened in that final possession wasn't just a missed call. It was the final straw in what White says has been a pattern of flat-out disrespect toward her team. A foul in plain sight, no whistle, game over. And the worst part? This isn't some isolated moment. This is the fourth straight game where the Fever have been on the wrong end of a whistle, and now the numbers prove it. White didn't tiptoe around the issue. She straight up said, "I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're attacking the rim. The disrespect right now has been unbelievable. This wasn't a press conference. This was a warning shot, because the league just messed with the wrong team and Stephanie White is done staying quiet." But what exactly happened in those final seconds? And why are fans calling this one of the most rigged games of the season? Let's break it down. The Fever had the ball, down 2, clock ticking, and Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom with ice in her veins, had the chance to force overtime. This was her moment. She catches it clean at the top of the arc, steps into her move, and that's when it happened. Natasha Cloud crashes into her. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Forearm to the hip, body across the shooting arm. Then, just to seal it, a hold as Clark tries to follow through. It's not subtle, it's not borderline, it's blatant. The kind of contact that gets called every single night in the WNBA. But this time, crickets. No whistle, no free throws, no overtime, just heartbreak. And the replay, it only made it worse. You can see Clark get bumped hard as she goes up, twisted midair, and sent tumbling. The kind of play that screams for a foul. The kind of play the Liberty had been getting called for all game. But for Indiana, nothing. Clark gets fouled, game ends, and just like that, the Fever lose. This wasn't just a bad break, it was a robbery, in front of a national audience. But that was just one play, because the disrespect didn't start in the final seconds. It's been building for weeks, and Stephanie White had the receipts. This wasn't just one missed call, it was the boiling point of something that's been happening game after game. And Stephanie White finally said what nobody else would, a minus 31 free throw discrepancy over the last few games. Minus 31. That's not bad luck. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. And it's not like the Fever are sitting around launching threes all night. They're driving, they're attacking, they're taking hits and going through bodies and still not getting the whistle. Meanwhile, their opponents getting double the trips to the free throw line. Game after game, same story. In this Liberty matchup alone, the numbers were absurd. New York, 32 free throw attempts. Indiana, 15. That's more than double. And the game? Decided by just 2 points. So let's be honest, the outcome wasn't just influenced by the refs, it was decided by them. White didn't need to exaggerate. The box score told the story for her. When you attack the basket like Indiana did and still walk away with half the calls, something's not right. This wasn't a team getting outplayed. This was a team getting disrespected, and what makes it worse? 3 crucial calls or non-calls completely flipped the ending, and now we're going to break down every single one. Let's talk about the 3 calls, or lack of them, that didn't just tilt the game, they stole it. First, with under. A minute to go, Danielle Robinson drives hard to the basket. She's got a clean look, wide open, until a Liberty defender clobbers her on the way up. No whistle. She misses the layup because of the contact, and just like that, 2 points are gone. Second, on the very next possession, Lexi Hull plays textbook defense. Feet set, arms straight, legal position. Sabrina Ionescu leans in, creates the contact, and gets the call. A phantom foul that gives the Liberty 2 free throws, and they hit both. So instead of Indiana going up, now New York takes the lead. And then, of course, the third and final blow. Clark's final shot. The one we all saw. The one where Natasha Cloud hacks her mid-shot, and the refs just watch. That's 3 possessions. 3 calls, all wrong, all going against Indiana. Let's do the math here. 2 missed free throws from Robinson's play, 2 gifted points to New York off the Hull. Foul. 2 more free throws that Clark should have had. That's a 6-point swing in a game decided by 2. That's not basketball, that's interference. And yet somehow, despite all of it, Indiana still had a chance. They still nearly won. But this wasn't just about the refs missing calls. It was about something much deeper. a broken system, and Stephanie White just exposed it to the entire league. Stephanie White didn't just call out the refs, she called out the entire WNBA system. After the game, she didn't sugarcoat it. She said there's supposed to be a process. Teams can submit clips, file grievances, point out officiating issues, but then came the line that stopped everyone cold. I don't know that I ever feel like the system works. Let that sink in. The head coach of a professional franchise just said publicly that the league's own complaint system is basically a joke. That when teams speak up about clear bias or blown calls, it goes nowhere. White didn't sound like a coach hoping to vent. She sounded like a leader who's had enough. She even pointed out that it would make some sense if her team were settling for jump shots. But they're not. We're attacking the rim over and over, game after game. And yet, the whistle stays silent. So what's left when the officials don't protect your players, and the league ignores your concerns? You go public. White knew she might catch heat for this. Fines, criticism, maybe even warnings from the league office. But she said it anyway, because this wasn't just about one game. It was about respect, and her team hasn't been getting it. And the worst part, they played like champions. They did everything right, except get treated fairly. Coming up next, how the Fever battled the defending champs and proved they belong. Here's the part the league can't ignore. Even with the refs against them, the Fever dominated. This wasn't some lucky run or underdog fluke. This was a team going toe-to-toe with the defending champions and outplaying them for huge stretches of the game. Aaliyah Boston? Unstoppable. She dropped 27 points and pulled down 13 rebounds like she owned the paint. Every time New York tried to slow her down, she just powered right through them. That's all-star level production, and she's just getting started. Then, there's Lexi Hull, thrown into her first start of the season and playing like she belonged there all along. 15 points, clutch buckets, energy on both ends. She answered the call when her team needed her most. And let's not forget the third quarter. Indiana outscored New York by 17 points. 17. They didn't just win that quarter, they took over. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, the Fever were up by 12. They had control, they had momentum, they had the better team performance. But they didn't have the refs. Every drive, every hustle play, every scrap for the ball, Indiana was getting hit, pushed, bumped, and still playing through it. Meanwhile, the Liberty were racking up calls on minimal contact. That's what made it so hard to watch. The Fever earned this game. They played championship-level basketball. They showed heart. They showed depth. They showed grit. And the only thing standing in their way was the officiating. But this wasn't just a loss. It was a statement. Because if this team can push the reigning champs to the brink, even while being blatantly disrespected by the refs, imagine what they'll do when they get a fair shake. And Stephanie White, she's not done sending that message. Stephanie White's frustration didn't come from losing a close game. It came from watching her team give everything and still get nothing. She walked into that press conference not as a coach defending a score, but as a leader defending her players. Young stars getting disrespected in broad daylight. Her words cut deep because they were honest. The disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable, and she's right. Indiana isn't some team that's just trying to survive. They're fighting. Every night, every possession. They're attacking the rim, battling in the paint, diving for loose balls, and showing the kind of intensity that should earn calls from any halfway competent official crew. But instead, silence. When Caitlin Clark takes contact at the rim, no whistle. When Aaliyah Boston gets mugged on a rebound, nothing. When Danielle Robinson gets hacked on a fast break, play on. And then, Lexi Hull breathes near Ionescu and suddenly it's 2 shots. What's going on here? White didn't just question the refs, she questioned the system. And in doing so, she spoke for every Fever fan who's watched their team get overlooked and outnumbered on the stat sheet every single night. This isn't just about one star player. This is about a whole team being treated like they don't belong. And that lack of respect, that's what fuels a fire. Because when you take a team this hungry and push them down over and over, they don't fold. They come back even harder. And, now, the Fever aren't just playing to win, they're playing to prove something. You'd think a loss like that would leave the Fever broken. But the exact opposite happened. They got angry, they got focused, and they started speaking out, with Caitlin Clark leading the charge. After the game, her words were sharp, honest, and revealing. We're 2 possessions away from being 4-0. Read that again. This team, disrespected by refs, battered by blown calls, is just 2 plays away from an undefeated record. Clark didn't sugarcoat their flaws. She admitted the team has things to fix. Defensive lapses, slow starts, missed opportunities. But she also made it clear they're right there, on the edge of becoming something special. And that honesty, that confidence, it lit a fire. Because this isn't just about Clark scoring points. It's about her leading a locker room that's full of fight. It's about Aaliyah Boston dominating in the post like a seasoned vet. It's about Lexi Hull showing she's ready for the spotlight. It's about a team finding its identity through adversity and refusing to be defined by whistles or scoreboards. You can feel it in the way they talk now. They're not discouraged. They're dialed in. They're not making excuses. They're making adjustments. They've seen how games can be taken from them, and they're learning how to take them back. This controversy, it didn't divide the Fever, it unified them, and now the rest of the league should be nervous, because this loss didn't break them, it made them dangerous. The WNBA tried to ignore it, the refs tried to control it, but now, everyone sees it. The Indiana Fever are done being quiet. Stephanie White sent the first shot across the league. Caitlin Clark followed with cold, hard facts, and the rest of the roster, they're backing it up with their play. They've exposed something deeper than just a few missed calls. They've revealed a pattern, a bias, and they're not afraid to call it out, because this team isn't asking for favors. They're not begging for sympathy. They're demanding fairness. The Fever didn't just prove they can hang with the best team in the league. They outplayed them. They showed they can dominate quarters, take double-digit leads, and fight through adversity. And they did all of it with the refs against them. So now, every team that faces Indiana better know one thing. They're not just battling the Fever. They're battling a team on a mission, a team fueled by being overlooked, a team united by disrespect, a team that's tired of watching games get decided by officials instead of basketball. And when a team this talented gets angry, you can't stop what's coming. So now the question isn't if the Indiana Fever can compete, it's how far they'll go when they stop getting held back. You saw the fire from Stephanie White. You saw the passion from Caitlin Clark. You saw the dominance from Aaliyah Boston and the rise of Lexi Hull. This team has everything it needs to win, except fair officiating. But maybe, just maybe, that's what's going to make them unstoppable, because every missed call adds fuel, every bad whistle builds hunger, every ounce of disrespect unites them. The Fever aren't just coming for wins, they're coming for revenge, they're coming for respect. And the league better be ready, because this isn't over. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the refs are rigging games against Indiana? Was that final play on Caitlin Clark a clear foul? Is the WNBA's officiating system broken? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading everyone. And if you're fired up like we are, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single moment of this battle. Click the video on your screen now for more WNBA drama, and we'll see you in the next one.